Good afternoon, everyone. Prime Minister Marape and Lady Marape, it's a pleasure for me to be here. The PNG ministers, all the distinguished guests, companies, investors, I'm honored to be here for PNG Investment Week. It's such a premier event for discovering investment opportunities in Papua New Guinea's booming energy and resource sectors. Let me just start with saying that the United States is committed to deepening and expanding our engagement in the Pacific, specifically with Papua New Guinea. As a member of both APEC and the Pacific Islands Forum, and as a bridge that connects Asia and the Pacific, Papua New Guinea is a critical U.S. partner in the region. Our long and meaningful history with Papua New Guinea, dating back to before World War II, has laid a strong foundation for cooperation based on shared values of freedom, democracy, and diversity. These ideals continue to inspire us as we take on the challenges of today and the future. Our efforts are aimed at preserving an open, secure, and prosperous Indo-Pacific region. We are working together to connect and grow our economies in a way that's inclusive, sustainable, and transparent. The prospects for economic growth are palpable, as demonstrated by the increased United States investment in key sectors such as LNG and mining through U.S. companies ExxonMobil and Newmont, but also other U.S. companies in Papua New Guinea like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Hilton, Marriott, Holiday Inn, and of course, Halliburton. If you look around the room, you will see at first glance a robust array of commercial and investment possibilities. And if you take a little deeper look, you'll find opportunities to improve the quality and reach of education for citizens and to build lasting ties and connections between the peoples of our countries. As we get ready to enter 2025 and celebrate 50 years of PNG independence and 50 years of diplomatic relations between the United States and Papua New Guinea, we truly are guided by shared values to build a shared future. I'm glad to be here today to share the ways that the United States has been engaging with Papua New Guinea recently, but through the years, and how we see the shared development of our future. In October, we held our first strategic partnership dialogue with Papua New Guinea, a dialogue the U.S. reserves for its most important partners. This was the first not only with Papua New Guinea, but a Pacific country, which really demonstrates the importance of PNG to the United States. The areas that were discussed were economic development, of course, climate resilience, security partnership, and finally, people-to-people ties. So let me start with economic development. I've seen that together we can improve public systems that rely on democratic values, rule of law, education, an enabling environment that supports the private sector and promotes investment as the linchpins of productive, inclusive, and proactive societies. We are committed to advancing the role of women in all segments of society, ensuring women's economic empowerment and combating gender-based violence. In 2022, the U.S. Embassy launched the American Chamber of Commerce Coral Sea to bolster investment and business ties between Pacific and American companies. This initiative aims to increase prosperity through Pacific and American partnership and promote the values of integrity, transparency, accountability, and innovation. The American Chamber of Commerce has become a staple of the economic landscape since then and growing significantly and strengthening its relationship with other chambers as well as government and industry leaders. AmCham is now a close ally not only for the U.S. Embassy and U.S. business community in Port Moresby, but also for current and potential business partners in PNG. As with chambers around the world, AmCham Coral Sea will play the vital link to draw investment and offer U.S. best practices to PNG, as well as to promote and facilitate trade opportunities in both directions. Recently, the State Department Special Representative for Commercial and Business Affairs led a business delegation to Papua New Guinea to generate additional U.S. bilateral commercial opportunities. This was the first of its kind for a U.S. delegation to come to Port Moresby. Prime Minister Marape and his top leadership engaged our delegation to express the PNG's vision for the role of commercial and business expansion that must play in the development of the economy. The Prime Minister and his team expressed a clear desire for more manufacturing and downstream processing companies, particularly for fish processing. Other partnership areas that the delegation raised during their time in country included climate financing, renewable energy, and delivery of services, just to name a few. Importantly, the Special Representative's delegation represented a cross-section of American companies, including education, health, energy and resources, information and communications technology, and financial resources. It's my priority to continue to bring in more delegations like this as we go forward. With the right nurturing from both of our countries, the United States private sector has the potential to become an indispensable partner as Papua New Guinea pursues the strategic outcomes outlined in its Vision 2050 goals. The U.S.-Papua New Guinea Strategic Partnership Dialogue in Washington further emphasized our commitment to expanding economic cooperation through trade and investment, modernizing our bilateral aviation relationship through an open skies agreement, and increasing access to finance, especially for women entrepreneurs. We're also focused on supporting sound governance of Papua New Guinea's mineral resources and forestry sectors, and expanding markets in support of sustainable and inclusive economic growth in the Indo-Pacific region. For the business climate to thrive in the long term, we need to make sure the natural resources of Papua New Guinea are being used sustainably, and there will be an environment, and that there will be an environment where businesses can continue to operate. So that was the second point of our strategic dialogue, was on climate resilience. We are committed to supporting the Pacific region's needs for improved climate resilience, biodiversity, adaptation, capacity, and connectivity. Our emphasis on addressing climate resonates as we work together to manage the impacts of climate change. During this strategic partnership dialogue, we both pledged to work cooperatively in raising global ambition to accelerate greenhouse gas emission reductions and advance adaptation and resilience efforts. Halting deforestation and building resilience to climate impacts are shared priorities that will also positively affect stability and security. We are ready to work together on humanitarian assistance and disaster risk reduction to address expanding threat and growing impact of climate and weather-related disasters. Moving on to security, our security partnership remains a large aspect of the U.S.-PNG relationship and partnership. The Defense Cooperation Agreement signed and ratified in 2023 represents a natural progression in our decades of defense cooperation with Papua New Guinea and our shared commitment to peace and security and stability. The DCA modernizes our security relationship, addressing regional defense and shared security challenges, and improves the ability to respond to disasters in the region. Since the DCA has been signed, we have been able to complete more joint U.S. Department of Defense exercises in Papua New Guinea and bring more vessels to PNG, including under the shipwrighter agreement that the Foreign Minister mentioned earlier. The shipwrighter operations assist Papua New Guinea to protect its sovereignty and enforce maritime law within its exclusive economic zone using U.S. Coast Guard assets. But let me also take a little bit of a step back and talk about what our year-to-year comparison have been since we signed the Defense Cooperation Agreement. From the U.S. side, the U.S. Department of Defense exercises in PNG increased by 25%, from 4 in 2023 to 5 in 2024. The U.S. Navy and U.S. Coast Guard's vessels visits to PNG increased by 27%, 11 in 2023 to 14 in 2024. Small-scale infrastructure projects completed. There were no projects completed in 2023. We've completed one in 2024, a bunkhouse at Ingham Barracks near Lae, and we have 3 additional infrastructure project contracts to be awarded this year yet, and with work to begin in 2025. The U.S. Department of Defense conducted exercises in 2 PNG provinces in 2023, and this has increased to 3 PNG provinces in 2024. So for 2025, we will continue to exercise with the Papua New Guinea Defense Force in bilateral and multilateral exercises, host training at top-tier think tanks, bring training teams to PNG, and support PNG's 50th anniversary. We also have additional plans of small incremental increases in Department of Defense personnel presences here in the country, as well as looking for additional training opportunities through the U.S. Department of Defense. Security is also an important aspect of economic opportunity, as the High Commissioner mentioned earlier. U.S. law enforcement, including the FBI, the Department of, or DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency, the Homeland Security, IRS, and Secret Service offers capacity building services to Pacific host nations, including here in Papua New Guinea. These offices are based in Canberra, but federal U.S. law enforcement special agents mentor Pacific investigators on several violations, including financial crimes, cyber crimes, crimes against children, cryptocurrency, and protection of intellectual property. Finally, the key to a durable bilateral relationship is ensuring we are making connections on a personal level between the people of the United States and Papua New Guinea. We actively partner on exchange programs from professional development to educational exchanges to capacity building programs to help build those people-to-people ties and strengthen our connections. In October, again, for the first time ever in Papua New Guinea, we hosted the Education USA program, which brought 7 higher education institutions, such as George Washington University, to Papua New Guinea to establish partnerships with PNG students, but also universities. In the past year, we achieved a significant milestone in enhancing travel facilitation for Papua New Guinea citizens. As of April 2024, the validity period for visitor visas was updated from 1 month to 6 months with a single entry. This change brought immediate, tangible benefits, allowing Papua New Guineans to plan visits for family reunions, conferences, and tourism in the United States with greater ease and flexibility. I'd also like to highlight our Academy for Women Entrepreneurs program, or the AWE program, which is a State Department program dedicated to giving women the knowledge, networks, and access they need to launch and scale successful businesses. Since its inception in 2019, over 200 women have completed the program from PNG. It's a rigorous curriculum dedicated to helping women grow their businesses and provides a powerful network of support after the course has been completed. The AWE program is one of the most powerful ways the United States is dedicated to advancing the role of women in the economy. The October Strategic Partnership Dialogue also highlighted our dedication to expanding existing people-to-people ties and exploring new opportunities to share culture and heritage. Between the United States and PNG, 3 sister city partnerships have been formed. They are Port Moresby and Long Beach, California, Leh and Charleston, South Carolina, Medang and Poplar, Wisconsin. These partnerships open up possibilities for economic development, cultural exchanges, and relationships between communities that may have otherwise never had the opportunity to connect. So as I sum up, PNG is a rich environment for resources and incoming global businesses. We are here to support a compelling investment climate, and we look forward to partnering with your business communities. We are aware we face complex challenges, but we're making strides towards a more prosperous and inclusive Papua New Guinea. Our efforts are a partnership between equals. As longtime friends of Papua New Guinea, we will continue to promote sustainable, inclusive, and transparent growth that creates lasting prosperity for both of our peoples. This shared prosperity will ensure security and stability, not only in Papua New Guinea, but in the United States, which is also a Pacific country. as part of a free and open Indo-Pacific that will position both of our countries for all the challenges that lie ahead. Thank you very much.